Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today is going to be my October book haul. I know the month is not quite over, and who knows if I'll buy any more books before the end of the month, but I do know that on next Wednesday, November 1st, because it's my birthday, I probably will go book shopping. So anything I buy between now and then, I will just include with my birthday haul with whatever I end up getting on my birthday. So the other thing I'd like to do in this video is a little unhaul. I've got some cozy mysteries that I picked up a couple of years ago with the intention of reselling them on eBay, and we did sell quite a few, but these are a few that didn't sell for whatever reason, or maybe my husband just didn't want to mess with them because, you know, they weren't worth enough to be able to make it worth his while to list them or whatever. I don't know. He just went through and culled out a few recently and stacked them up and said, here, you can have these back, do what you want with them. So I figured on my birthday, I will take them to the used bookstore and see if they have any trade-in value so that I can buy some things that I am interested in reading. So that will be at the second half of this video. But first, I would like to show you the books that I've acquired during the month. Now, the first batch are some that cost 25 cents each. I went in a thrift store in our county that was new to me, and I didn't know when I went in if they even had books, and lo and behold, they were 25 cents each. I found this really neat old edition of Heidi by Johanna Spyri, and it is, I believe, the unabridged version. The only version of Heidi that I have is one that I've had since I was a kid, and it's abridged. So this one is beautiful. It's now the outside cover not so much, but inside it has gorgeous illustrations, and end papers are just really nice, and I am just really excited to get this. I don't think I've ever read the full version of Heidi, so I'm excited to have it. And then these next two are ones that will probably try these on eBay and see about reselling them, because one I've read and one I really don't have any interest in reading, but I just couldn't pass this up for a quarter. It's a like-new copy of The School of Good and Evil, The School for Good and Evil, A World Without Cause. I can't speak or read, apparently. The School for Good and Evil, A World Without Princes, and it's by Soman Chinani. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And I have heard people talk about this on BookTube, but for some reason it just doesn't appeal to me. But, you know, I figured if they are selling books for a quarter, they must not get a lot of book trade there, and it was just going to sit there and go to waste. So I figured I would snatch it up for a quarter and see if we could resell it. And the same for this one. Beautiful hardcover edition. I've read it. I've also read A Court of Mist and Fury. I don't have any interest in collecting them, although I probably will read the rest of the series. But this is a beautiful hardcover edition, and for a quarter, I just couldn't let it sit there. It was even in the second row. I mean, some of the shelves were crowded so that there were books behind the ones that you could see, so you had to kind of move books aside to see what was behind them. This was behind the books, and I thought, I am not passing this up, so I grabbed this for a quarter. And if you're not familiar with it, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I'm sure you have all heard of this. This is labeled for teens, but I don't think that it should be. There's some pretty erotic times, only a couple in this book, but in the second book it's practically erotica, so I'm not getting into that right now. I did a whole separate video on my concerns about that and how it's marketed for teens, but that's a whole other video. If you are interested in that, let me know and I'll send you the link, or you can browse through my channel and find it. But anyway, still a beautiful edition, and I think we can resell this one. So then the next few are ones that I will probably put in the little free library, or maybe pass them on to teachers. They are mostly books I've already read, and I have my own copy, or I don't have any interest in keeping a copy, and we're going to pass them on. This one I do have my own copy of. It's Dewey, the Small Town Library Cat Who Touched the World by Vicki Myron. And then this one's wonderful, No Talking by Andrew Clements. He has some really great middle grade books, and this one is one of my favorites. Then Tale of Despero. I've read this, of course, and it is by, oh goodness, I can't even say her name now. Kate DiCamillo. And it says this is a junior novelization. So this may not be the full... Oh, it's not. It is not the full version. It is exactly what it says. It is a novelization from the movie, and it has some scenes from the movie. So that's interesting. I wonder what reading level this is. So anyway, it is a version of Tale of Despero. And then this one is the third book in the Julie of the Wolves series. I've not read this one, so I have it on audio, and I'll probably hang on to this print copy until I do read it. But I've read the first two in the series, and it's by Jean Craighead George. Then this one I'm also going to put in the Little Free Library. It's Inside Sesame Street. We can never seem to keep enough children's storybooks in the Little Free Library, and this one, was sitting there for a quarter, and so I decided to grab it. All right, then at that same store, they had in another section some clearance books that were 3 for a quarter. I just found one book in that section that I wanted, and so I think I probably paid a quarter for the book, which is fine. It's missing its back cover, but that's okay. It is Urgent Care by C.J. Lyons. I just recently learned about C.J. Lyons. I haven't read anything by her, but one of my coworkers and friends grew up with her, and so has read a couple of her books. He said he's not really a big reader, but he did read a couple of her books because, she was a friend of his, and they knew each other growing up. And she is a doctor, a licensed physician, but she has left practicing medicine to write books. So one of her series is a medical series, I think medical mystery type books. And so anyway, I thought I would grab it, and I don't know where this falls in the series. Hopefully it's the first one in the series that this is from, but I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not even sure if this one is from a series. I should have looked it up before I started filming, but anyway, definitely People with Scrubs, so I'm assuming this one is a medical book. And then I picked up, I believe maybe at that same store, a audiobook on cassette, and this is Boundaries. It is by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. This is one of the books that Dave Ramsey always talks about. I personally don't have any boundary issues that I know of with any of my family or my husband's family, but Dave Ramsey talks about this book all the time, and I thought it would just be interesting to listen to. I'm sure this is an abridged version because it's only 1 or 2 tapes, and it's still taped up, but anyway, I just thought I would pick it up. It was 50 cents. And then a few more here. This one was given to me by the lady that I drive for a couple of times a week. And I don't know if it's anything that I will be interested in, but she wanted to give it to me, and so I'll definitely give it a second look. This is Thrilling Western Stories by Dr. Bill Rice. It looks like it is probably self-published, and I don't know anything about it other than that. I believe that it is a Christian author, and so the stories are going to be Christian-based. And then this is something I was planning to put in the Little Free Library, and I took it back out because recently at our local library, they announced that we're starting a mystery book club. So the first selection is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I've listened to an abridged version of this, but I've never read the entire book. And so I remembered that when we got that huge windfall of books over the summer, that my husband had set aside a box of Agatha Christie's to try some of them on eBay, and then we ended up pulling the paperbacks back out and just hadn't done anything with them. I am probably going to put them in the Little Free Library eventually, or maybe use them for giveaways for March Mystery Madness next year. I'm not really sure, but when I found out that this was going to be what we were reading next, I pulled this out of the box and decided to hang on to it for now. So this is on my TBR for early November. I am mostly going to do nonfiction November, but I am going to read this, or at least attempt to kind of skim through it and refresh myself on the story before our book club, which is the second Tuesday of November. Then I got this from our Little Free Library because this is the most recent book in the Rose Harbor series by Debbie Macomber. It's called Sweet Tomorrows. I've got one more ahead of it that I need to read. I'm going to be listening to it on audio, both of them, and I like to have the print book around just to kind of keep up with my page count and see, it's just good. I don't know. For me, I like to see where I am in the story, and that's one thing you can't really do with an ebook. You can see percentages sometimes, but I like to be able to hold it in my hand and see where I am in the book and how many pages I have left to the end of the chapter and that type of thing. So I thought I would hang on to this until I finish this on audio. I am planning to listen to this before the end of the year because this is the last series on my top 17 series to finish in 2017. And so I have this now in my hands. And 2 cozy mysteries that I bought. Now I can't remember where I got them. I think it was a Salvation Army that I was at recently. And I have one book from this series that I think is the 5th book. It's called Kate Never Tell by Kathy Pickens, and it's in hardcover, but I saw these like new editions and they caught my eye, and I had to look it up on Goodreads to see if this was the same series, and it is. So it is the, oh goodness, the Southern, I think it's the Southern Fried Mystery Series, if I'm correct. I should have looked that up too. But anyway, the first one is Southern Fried. And like I said, it's by Kathy Pickens. And this is book 1, I believe. And then I believe this is book 2, Done Gone Wrong. And I don't know anything about them. It looks like they would have recipes, but these 2 don't. So that's kind of disappointing. Usually, you know, you think of a food-related mystery that it's going to have recipes. But it's still... I mean, I can't say these titles without really saying them in a country accent, you know, Done Gone Wrong, and then the 5th book, Can't Never Tell. So I'm excited about these. Oh, it's the, yeah, no, I said it right. The Southern Fried is the first book, and that's also the name of the series. So those 2 I purchased. Now these next few are ones that I am planning to trade in, unless you tell me that I shouldn't. I have, one of the books in the stack was War and Peas, a Jane Jeffrey mystery by Jill Churchill. So then I went to my shelves, and I have 2 more by Jill Churchill. One of them is from that same series, A Quiche Before Dying. It's book 3, and I believe this one is book 8. And sorry, I thought I heard something. Then I have In the Still of the Night, which is a Grace and Favor mystery. So I really not planning to collect these. They look interesting. I think I do have maybe a hardcover of one of Jill Churchill's books that I picked up somewhere. But if any of you have read either of these series and you would recommend them and you think I ought to just hang on to these, let me know. I'm willing to hang on to them, but if I'm not going to get to them anytime soon, it might be better just to trade these in. So let me know if any of you have any ideas about that. Then these are some books from series that I don't know anything about, and I am not actively reading or collecting any part of these series. I have Murder and Marinara, or Marinara, however you say it, by Rosie Genova. That is from the, it's the first in the Italian Kitchen Mystery Series. Then Mayhem in Miniature by Margaret Grace. It's a miniature mystery. I have Sonnet of the Sphinx by Diana Killian. It is a poetic death mystery. Then Prairie Hardball by Allison Gordon. It's a Kate Henry mystery. And then A Penny Earned by Tamar Myers. And it is it's one of the Den of Iniquity mysteries. And then I do have one that is a duplicate. So that's the only reason I'm trading this in. I am reading and collecting this series. I think I have all of these. Pinned for Murder by Elizabeth Lynn Casey. It's one of the Southern Sewing Circle mysteries. So not to worry, I do have another copy of this one. So those are some that I am going to be trading in. And let me know if you think I shouldn't, or if they are part of a series that you're collecting or wanting to read and you don't have that one, let me know. I'll be happy to send it to you if, you know, it's not crazy postage, maybe, you know, like international or something. I might even be willing to send it international just to put a book in, you know, a good home. So just let me know. Maybe message me privately and let me know. So that being said, I think that's it for this book haul and unhaul. And tomorrow I'll be here with my Friday reads. And then on Saturday, I'm going to do kind of a little different video. Instead of a Saturday shelfie of my physical shelves, I have found my long lost nook that was missing for a couple of years. And so we're going to see what's on it. And I am excited about that because I have not even really looked at it much since I found it. And I've almost kind of forgotten how to use it. So I have a Kindle now, but I don't even remember all of the stuff that's on my Nook. So I thought that might be kind of fun to look at with you. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.